Good afternoon and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation Crafts studio and it's lovely to have your company. We are here with Dreamland Safari. It's the last one, guys. It's the last show of the launch for Carnation, and that always feels a little bit sad, like we're saying goodbye to a good friend, but we will obviously at some point bring it back as well. However, today is the day for you to get it at a lower cost because we've got a code for you. So this will be the last time you get to use this. So Dreamland Safari is on the Carnation Crafts website. The code to get it is CCDS10. That's all in capitals. It's on your screen as we speak. That's going to take the price down to you from £89.99 down to £80.99, and that means you're getting free P&P as well. So quite the bargain all round. Just to let you know, if you did buy all of these individually, it'd be over £116. Today is the day to get it with that code because it means you're getting a nice little chunk off, and we like those apples. Now, what is Dreamland Safari? What sort of cards are we looking at? Yes, it covers baby cards, it covers like family trees as well, which is really important. That's a separate die that we've got for you today, and we'll talk about that as well. Loads of different elements to it, but it means we're making really beautiful, beautiful cards. Couple of examples, the tiny little cards that we use from those apertures. So when you're using the easy aperture card and you're cutting out your oval points from the center, don't throw them. They make cards on their own. They're absolutely brilliant. Yes, Miss Tiztaz.
I have some really good news.
Oh, go on.
The vignettes are now live.
The vignettes are live. The vignettes are live. You can go and fill your boots with those vignettes. While you're there, don't forget to also download the backing papers and the inserts and whip over as well. Type in bundles of joy and go and get your digital stamps, which you can use your dies to cut these out, obviously, to the perfect size and shape for the little label holder that I'll show you when I do the boards. So all of the things available to you on the Carnation Crafts website. I know from this morning, lots of you saying that you've already got this in your hand, but you ordered it yesterday or when I did the Facebook Live on Sunday, and you already have it, and that's such a powerful, strong message. Now, I am going to do the boards for you in a second, but I just want to show you, I've shown you the little oval, but I want to show you this with the giraffe in comparison to this with the giraffe. The reason being is that the diversity of this collection is quite extraordinary, and you can start with something very, very clean and simple, and you can work your way up to this, or vice versa. This, I can never do my left and right on this. It's the wrong way round, Miss Taz. Or you can do it sort of with a much fuller card. It's up to you how you want to craft with it. And because it's so diverse and there's so many ways, and I did do a demo in the last show, if any of you were there, where I did something very stripped back just with the florals. It doesn't have to be one way or another. It can be a multitude of ways. What we do have, though, in this is the power of easy apertures, easy layered apertures as well. That's an extraordinary thing, right? Layered apertures are hard. So I'm going to show you the boards, and we're going to do some extra pieces, but we're just going to go to a little video for you so you can see more samples of this collection. And so we'll be back in a second for you, but enjoy the VT and we'll see you at the other side. Hey, I'm just annoying Miss Towers basically at this stage. I'm driving her slightly insane. She just said, somebody from the Northeast has said happy, you know, hello, nice in the Northeast. And she was like, that's where you're from, isn't it? And I was like, no. She's like, oh. And I am. Anyway, all of that aside. Oh, also, in order to just see if I'm the only person, and I will get back to the collection, have any of you guys heard of first footing for New Year, and do any of you do it? Because my parents religiously do it and have always done it, but Taz had never heard of it. So how many people have heard of or do first footing? Right, I am just going to go through the collection with you, then we're going to do boards. We'll get to demo at a later point during the show. 231001 is Dreamland Safari. This is a it's going to be $89.99 as soon as the code stops working. So today's the day to do it. £80.99 today. It's the last chance I think you'll get to use that code. So now is definitely your time. Free UK P&P. It's not the only thing we've got available for you today. Of course, we've got the perfect papers. That's always going to be the case with the Carnation collections because it's just an easy way of making everything blend, because obviously when we're using those vignettes, it's nice to have the backing papers that work with it as well. You'll find the perfect papers on the code 231009, Dreamland Safari. Perfect papers, show price today $14.99, $2.95 UK P&P because it's under the £50 threshold. Added to that, we've got some gorgeous extra dies for you. Not part of the bundle, but they are available to you individually and they're beautiful. First of all, we've got the alphabet, and I'm going to show you the boards for all of these, but we've got the alphabet so you can shop ahead. That's on 231008. It's stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. $34.95, $2.95 UK P&P because it's under the 50. And then we also have for you the gorgeous tree. This is stunning. The family tree card shape. Absolutely a joy to work with. And that is $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P. Obviously, you can put it all together in your basket and the P&P would be free. Just to explain P&P to those of you who are buying internationally, and I know lots and lots of you do, your P&P or your shipping and handling is $4.95 if you're just buying the bundle. If you want to add in some papers, that'll take you up to $14.95. And obviously Carnation will get that shipped to you as soon as they possibly can. And it's very fast. I know even international shipping, it's much quicker than most companies. Loads of you saying that you've got this already, and that is awesome. So a huge congratulations to you all. Yes, Mr. Tess?
So Suzanne has said she's had her first footing. Sheila, I'm sorry guys, Sheila, Karen, Barbara, Linda. Sorry, there's a lot of people commenting. Linda Seaman said, I still have the lump of coal that my sister gave me when she first footed me when I moved to my flat in Glasgow.
Yeah. So my parents always do, because I was just reading up on it as well, but my parents always do coal and bread. Apparently shortbread is more traditional, and usually there's also, I think, some hard liquor, it says, as well on the internet. My parents certainly don't do that, but definitely coal always, or apparently you can use wood as well. So let's have a look at some finished samples, because these are absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to do too many, but so sweet, right? Celebrating new beginnings. When we're looking at these cards, one thing to take a note is the dimension. Now, I know lots of you don't particularly, you know, bother with the dimension, using pin flare, that kind of thing, and that's absolutely fine. But the difference with Carnation is it's designed so that you can. You get both choices. In the same way we get both choices to use mirrored vignettes, we're always given more options than most other companies can give us. So the reason being is, and when I say that, the cut lines that are inside all of the things are designed for us to sculpt. It's there. And that's why I always use it, because when you look at something that's got dimension and it's got that sort of different look to it, you can see the difference that it makes. It is extraordinary. But where you're looking at this and you've got those warm tones coming through those florals and you match it then with the sun, that's really powerful. It's a really strong visual. We're always working with visuals with Carnation, and it's a real joy because we learn so much about composition by working with strong imagery. Again, this one uses the same floral. We're looking at the same elements, but this time we change it up and we're using the alphabet, which looks stunning, right? Cutting those perfect papers. And then we intertwine the two monkeys. So you've got some fun going on and you've got the bottom monkey there holding the dummy. So really cute ways of playing, and it's playful. Card making, in my opinion, any form of art or craft, in my opinion, should be playful, because it's got joyful elements to it, hasn't it? We want crafting to be joyful, and that's how we create joyful cards. Just pop these ones here and bring this one in for you. Sorry, Taz. And here you've got the balloon just floating off above that tree. Again, tucking it in. Remember your tuck-ins as well. We've got so much to work with Carnation. You've got snippability, you've got tuck-ins, you've got corner elements, you have longer aspects of things. So the long tree, the long giraffe that allows us to create borders. And all of those things just work, right? They're just important. Little florals at the bottom just to cover workings, doing all of those elements that we do. Really, really pretty, but you can see the value of the tree and how it just incorporates itself so lovely, isn't it? With the little monkey, it's just cute. It is a really, really beautiful collection. You don't want to do that, then we strip it right back. And we talk about stripping things back and going clean and simple a lot, don't we? When we look at this one, the New Beginnings, the one I've just held up, there's less colour on it. And that's partly what stripping it back can mean. I think both of them are equally beautiful. I don't think one is more deserving than the other, but I do think that there is an extraordinary difference in style. And I think that's such a valuable thing, because I can make both of those cards. I can change my style. I can do the things I want to do with Carnation. I'm not boxed in. I said it earlier, I don't like being boxed into card making. We should all have that freedom to create differently and to get our creative juices flowing. I love this. Absolutely love that. That's clean to me as well. I love clean cards. There's something about it, right? I also love very full cards, but the playway, okay? We're looking at the same elements, but just changing things up slightly. And it's just two different people making two different cards. One's Vera, one's Pam. It's just how we use the collections. And they're quite similar because they're both using the teardrop and sweep. Both of them incorporate the elephant and both of them incorporate the alphabet. But they're completely different cards. It's important. I will never stop saying it's important. I will not, do not want to be boxed in as a crafter. It does not help my process. It does not help my flow. So looking at this one again, where we have the teardrop and sweep, both using the elephant, and then this one where we form an external silhouette shape. And we're doing that purposefully. We're doing it with intent. You form that silhouette, and it's important. Now, when you're using Carnation's nested dies and you're using something like the teardrop and sweep, you're going to form a silhouette, because it's got the shape line on the outside. We're not just working with flat imagery, you know, sort of if I cut an 8x8, it's just a flat 8x8. I don't give it a silhouette. However, when we're using the nested, especially with Carnation, this and the crystalline being really good examples of that, and the Hessian nested as well, you form your silhouette. It's a natural occurrence, or you create it. That beautiful line, the skyline almost, isn't it? And that's using that main card shape, just fold it in half and then leave the aperture halfway, so you're not cutting the rest of the pip lines, it's just left as it is. Clever, clever workings with the card shape, but in actual fact, relatively obvious workings with the card shape, because when you get it home and you start looking at it and you go, oh, I can go to town with this. I said yesterday that I could think of 6 to 8 ways of working with that card without actually even exploring it. There's so many more, but that's just on the top of my head. Did I actually think to do this that Janine's done? No. That's absolutely another way, isn't it, of using that card shape. I didn't make an easel out of it, but I could have done. And that's the point. There is 1,000,001 different notations with this card shape. It's so important. I love it very much. Last one I'll show you this is because of the backing papers, and I want you to see the strength of those backing papers. They're really strong in this collection. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Always print mine on a 220 GSM as a rule, because I want the stability from it. So your pro print is going to really, really help. And I always do my backing papers on 220. I always do my vignettes on 120. I get asked that question an awful lot. And I use the 120 pro print for my vignettes because I always do mirrored vignettes. So my backing papers are always 220. If you're not too worried about it being strong, you can use the 170 GSM pro print. But when you're doing things like backing papers, you want that strength of quality from your printouts. It does help. It is an extraordinary help to creating stunning cards. And that's what we want, right? We want to create stunning cards. We want to stand out. The Carnation crafters, Carnation themselves, are elite. We know this. We know this because we've got the tools to do it. And it is important. It's got, well, we feel quite special, don't we? Let me go to boards. Let me show you what you're getting. I've shown you the finished samples. I've shown you what you can work. Now let's see exactly what that means. You are getting this, which I said earlier and I'll say again, is one of the most extraordinary card shapes I've ever worked with, genuinely, that I've ever worked with. So many ways of playing with this. We can use that inside aperture as a card base. You can use it separately and create the little doorways. Okay, these will open. Show you that in a second. You've got a spine here that creates a book, and we're going to look at the book finish samples in a minute because they are also glorious. You've got this. Now, I haven't said this yet, but I will say it to you. I said to you about getting your digital stamps from the Bundles of Joy collection for your sentiments. They just work really well together. You see this here? The detailing on it is there, but there's a die on the inside. Okay? There's a little metal die around here. You take that one and you cut, you put it over one of your digital stamps and you cut it, and it will then fit perfectly into that sentiment tag. Okay, it will be absolutely perfect. And let me just show you. You just glue it on. Can you see how that's glued on? Because there's a little die on the inside that gives you that. It's always going to be perfect. I like them. I like them apples. Then you've got your belt for your book. This is to allow you to create a closure. And you've got all of your extra elements. And it's this little beauty that creates the spine. And clever it is just by gluing your valleys and your mountain folds. And you can see a demo on that. We did it yesterday. And you can see how that creates a spine for your book that looks like it's got Coptic stitching on it. And it can, isn't it clever? So gorgeous. Right, what does the colourway look like? It looks like that. It's incredible. Your greens, your pinks, those gorgeous tones. You've got lots of colour choices with this. Easy apertures. So you cut in one at the first point, you then print it. So you've got this printed 3 times. The next one at the next line and the last one on this line. And that gives you that stepped element that allows you to create those apertures, the doors that we create if you want to. Okay, you don't have to, but the option's there. You've got the options there with the little peekaboo doors. It's all there for you, and there's your colour for your spine, and there's your belt. Beautiful filigree. Corners, they didn't leave anything out, did they? Everything's taken care of. Look at these. Gorgeous corners. It's not all we've got though. We have also got your florals, and I did a demo in the last one, which was just florals, because this collection doesn't have to be babies. It doesn't have to be anything particular. We can just work with elements with carnation. And that's always going to be the case as well. It's not just specific to this collection, it's specific to every collection. And these are beautiful. They're so pretty. They're bright, they're vibrant. I really love colour. Colour's really important to me, and I love the vibrancy of this board. It's so pretty to work with pinks and oranges pulled together, because you don't normally put pinks and oranges together as a rule, but they work. They're beautiful when blended, and the reason we can do that is we can tone it nicely as well with this, which has got that cream element. We can absolutely mute it down by using the whites. We just place carefully, and they are stunning to work with. You'll notice these have got little stalks on. For a lot of my demos, I just pipped the stalk off, because I didn't actually need it, but the fact is I've got the choice. When you see it sitting there on the board, it almost looks like that's growing out of the board. And that's another way that we work, because you've got the tiny little thing, and where it tapers off at the end, it almost looks like it's protruding from the board, doesn't it? Like it's grown out. Clever working. Same here. It's got a feeling as if it's growing. Love it. Absolutely love it. And I love florals. Florals are really important. I'll never ever have enough florals. Then I've got my gorgeous baby. I love this. Easy to shape. You don't even need a ball tool really if you don't want to, especially with the top piece. You can just pinch and it will naturally curve, because he gave us those cut lines. As in Nick, in case you're wondering who I'm talking about, the creative director. He gave us cut lines to do that, so you can just pinch and shape. I showed you in the last one, you can shape out the baby and create a feeling of weight by just using a ball tool on the bottom of this. And pinching in that fabric at the top, it will look like the baby is heavy. And that's what we're looking for, that realism. It just looks brilliant. And then we've got your sweet lullabies. I love this. All of your little baby elements. I miss my babies. I mean, they're still with me, but I miss them being babies. Little romper suits and little shoes, little socks, the bottles, the gorgeous clouds. You've got your sunshine, your dummies, your stars and your moons, all in these glorious colours. For every single one of these, you'll note that there is a colour and a blue. Colour and blue, colour and blue, for all of those elements. And that's so you can work either tonally on the same workings, or it means you can just absolutely go nuts with your colour. It's what you want to do, but you're given both options. This can be used as a hanging line for those, or it can be used as bunting. You can do all kinds of things where you're just hanging stuff off that. It's just super cute. So that is your little lullabies. And then we've got these naughty, naughty little beasties. So you've got your monkey, you've got your stork, you've got your elephant, and you've got your giraffe. Important to note that you've got a matte layer for each of those as well. So we can create dimension, we can lift them up, and we can make them center stage. And I said in the last show, wouldn't he particularly be glorious on that scissor lift, just moving out of your card, that dimension as he pulls out. Absolutely stunning, stunning stuff. Nothing at Carnation is done by halves, for good reason, so that we can do all of the good crafting, which I love, love, love. It just makes life a dream, and it makes my job very easy when everything we make is a quality finish, because it's quality before we start. Does that make sense? I hope so. So you've got all of those elements. Are you okay, Miss Tizta? She's sniffling. I think she might have a little bit of cold. Right, I'm just going to go through a couple more samples with you, and then we'll get to demo in a little while, and I'll get David B to sing your bedtime story. So we've got your tree. Isn't that cute? I love these little faces around the tree. And I'll show you the boards for this in a second. Isn't it gorgeous? Well, you've got all of those elements, and then you've got your florals at the bottom. You can make so much with that die. And if you want to shop ahead before I show you the dies, that's 231007. That's your family tree card shaped die set, $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P, and it will come obviously with the little faces here. And I'm going to show you the boards and we'll go through it. But I just wanted to show you some samples first before we get into sort of that's main board time, because I want you to see what you can make with it before you see what it is as such. 3D quadrant, 360 crafting. I'll have to put that down so I can turn this round. 3D crafting. Now I did this for demo yesterday. So I've only decorated one side of it, not all four, but you absolutely can. So if I hold it that way, there's so much room for you to decorate and then fold flat for posting. Perfect, right? It's such a glorious design. Or use the mats and layers in the card base to just create your average card. Not average, but you know what I mean. Your average card shape. Easy trimmings, right? And then I'll just show you a couple more with the tree, and then I'm going to show you the boards. I love that. That glorious pop of pink at the bottom. And I think the pairing where you've got the white at the top, thank you Barbara by the way, where you've got the white at the top and the pink at the bottom, because you've got the wider point here, so visually we do a drop point down for your colours at the bottom. Really, really pretty and well toned. Stunning, stunning examples of what we can achieve. One more of this and then I will show you the board so you know what it is I'm talking about. Have I just done that one? I think I've just done that one. Hang on. Let me show you this one because then it's got more relevance as well. You see this one where it's got family? That's your alphabet. And the alphabet is glorious, and you're going to see the boards for that as well. So you'll see how everything blends together and how we change it up. And those two cards, which are almost similar in nature, right? But look at the difference in colour pop. By using your pinks and your yellows, you're changing the way that we're crafting. And then those muted whites on this one, where you've got those beautiful, beautiful mutes on there. Really pretty. Lovely job from the DT team. As always, it's not like that's a surprise, is it? We always get lovely samples. So let me show you what you're getting when you get those two. You've got that gorgeous family tree card shape. Isn't it stunning? I just think that as a piece of artwork is glorious. $34.99. It's such good value. And that's $2.95 UK P&P. Added to that, you're getting your little silhouettes, which you can't really see against the black, but look at them on that side. male and female, so you can create the full family tree dynamic. You've got your little arrows that you can use to create your family trees. You've got a frame that these will sit in and a back into that frame, and the gorgeous nameplate. I love that so much. It looks really dimensional, doesn't it, because of the shading that they've done on it. It looks like it's sitting up and protruding. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's just a beautiful piece of art, right? And I've just noticed, have I noticed, or am I visualizing something? Does this look like one of Nick's little love hearts? He always hides something somewhere. Nicholas, did you hide a love heart in the tree? It looks like it to me. There's usually something somewhere, and that looks like it might be it. And then underneath that, we have got your gorgeous alphabet. I love this. So important, alphabets. It's just so, it's like nested dies. They're so important. They're evocative of the piece we're making. Using a font that's rounded like this, and fun, it's playful, it's joyful. This wouldn't be something necessarily that you would put on, say, a wedding card. Using your different fonts is incredibly value for creating the flavour of what we're doing. This is 231008 Dreamland alphabet die set. $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P. Not only do you get the full alphabet, all the numbers, the exclamation mark and the ordinals, each one's got its own mat. Again, super, super important. So just play away, absolutely play away with your alphabet. Really, really cute. Now I'm going to show you the two samples of the books that we've got, and then we will listen to Dave read you the story. I know lots of you wanted that yesterday, and Dave stayed behind for us yesterday and did a little video so you can see it all, because my dulcet tones reading a book, not doing anyone any favours. Right, you've got your baby book here. Now, I'll hold it up so you can see it front facing, but just let me be gentle there. Showed this one in the last one. There's two books that we've got samples for. I made one yesterday as well, I believe, somewhere. But we'll go with Janine's. Look at this. Your family tree. Fits perfectly. This is all using that main card shape. Nothing here that you can't achieve. When you've got two of those stuck together and you pop some acetate in it and you cut out the middle aperture, you've got a frame for your photos. Nothing tricksy. Isn't it cute? Date, height and weight. It's what's the word I'm looking for? You know when you buy baby, like things for babies, nurseries and stuff, and it's got that really wholesome feel, hasn't it? There's, you know it instinctively if you go into Mamas and Papas or Mother Care or something, you know it. It's that feeling of newborns. There's certain colour tones that we use. Carnation have hit it exactly right, haven't they? It's got that beautiful, soft, tonal feel to it. Pretty, pretty, pretty beyond. All these different elements that we can make and use to create something so glorious. Now that's one. I'm going to show you the other book, and then this is the book that Dave will be reading. So I'll flick through quickly and then we'll show a video of Mr. Davey B himself doing the reading. So hey up, if I can find t'other one. What have I done with it, Miss House? Oh, I am asking her. She won't know what I've done with it. Oh, well, maybe we'll just show Dave doing it while I try and find it. Oh, I think it's not there. Have I found it? No, Miss Taz. Play the video of Dave. I found it. That was close. Sorry, Miss Taz. Very sorry, Miss Taz. Dreamland Safari. I'll go relatively quick because Dave's going to read you it. Look at this. So cute. Isn't it cute? There you go. What we can make, what we can play. And here's Dave reading you a little story.
Dreamland Safari by Janine Dawson. We're off on safari tonight, you and I, as the sun goes to bed and sleep time is nigh. So close those eyes, my little one, as you peacefully drift off to Dreamland. We're off on safari tonight, you and I, as storks swoop and fly and giraffes reach up high. But look out for monkeys, my little one, as you wander on safari in Dreamland. We're off on safari tonight, you and I, as elephants play, their trunks dance and sway. So like an elephant never forgets, remember I love you, my little one, and enjoy your safari in Dreamland. The end.
Taz waving at me madly because she wanted to catch my attention because I was looking down here and we were about to go back on live television. So I hope you all enjoyed Dave's story and the amazing book from Janine. Isn't it gorgeous? Really, really beautiful. Lovely ways of playing. So I'm going to create an 8x8 for you. It's something that I always try and get certain variants in. And also yesterday when I made the tree example, I did the cross-section tree. I'm going to work with that on an 8x8 with a plain, a plainer background for you. So I'm trying to fit in all the demos, all the types of demos that I can in the time that I do have, which is obviously always limited. So we're going to work with the tree and some characters and an 8x8. I'm going to kind of clean and simple it. It's not plain, but I'm going to pare it back a little bit. And then the second demo that I make, I'm hoping to do the actuals. My brain, honestly, it's frazzled. Frazzled, I tells you. Right, 8x8. So, 8x8, obvious, but if you just started crafting, all that means is we cut it at 8 inches by 8 inches and we do it twice, score it once, or half an inch, sorry, and then place your red liner tape in. And then easiest way for me so far finding to get my red liner tape off is to use my pokey. Turn it back, away from your body, push, turn it towards your body, shuffle, find a line. My glass mat is my best friend and so is my multimedia mat. They give me a place to position. Placing in. Okay, done. Done. Right. White upon white. Love it. Always love it. A little bit where my foam tape has been. You can just see it. But I've got a 5mm. Now the reason that I'm using white on white very distinctly in this card rather than a coloured background is so that I can make that tree absolutely sing. Slip and slide till you get it into the right place. Once it's there, push, pull, and that will sit where you want it to sit. Now, this tree that I love, 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 okay, it's got little holes in. You see them? Now, I can poke things through, so can you see a very mischievous monkey tail? Because I can get him to peek out of my tree just by putting his tail through that little hook, all right? So I've put him through and he can swing and do, you know, all of the naughty businesses from the front. But where I've got my foam tape at the back, I'm just going to have to be careful where I place his foot because I'm going to leave him kind of loose. But what I don't want is for his foot to get stuck on my tape. That's going to be important because if it gets stuck, he's going to be at a funny angle. So I've literally put him in first so that I can place my tape next to him and see where he's going to, you know, sort of dangle, if you like, because I need to know that I get it aligned properly. I've got 5mm foam tape on here. I've avoided the holes where the foam tape is. I'm going to leave that one exactly where it is. I don't need to do anything, but I do need this stick from the side, and the bottom. That one not so much because these two are going to hold it firm, but I do need the support all the way through the tree. So this one's going to be important, and so are these. Now, consequently to that, I can't really do tabs because if I do tabs, then it's not going to work because my bottom one's going to get stuck. If you find that difficult and you want to use the tab system, you can leave that foam tape just as it is because your sticking point is the 2 side points. That's going to keep it firm. But I think for me, I want the support at the bottom. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the monkey and I'm going to hold him and I'm going to take that off. I don't want his foot going on my foam tape. So I'm just going to peel and I've still got hold of it. I'm always in control of that paper. She says, watch me lose control rapidly now, but I'm in control of him and holding on to him so he doesn't move. Don't want to change what I'm trying to do. I'm going to lay this fairly close to the bottom because I need to use it as a grounding device. So if I take the monkey and I hold him, what I can do is place him roughly central. That 5mm foam tape, see the dimension I'm getting on the tree, see the shadow play I'm getting from the tree. And now I can let the monkey go because that's now stuck. So he's now not at an angle, but he sort of moves, but he's not going anywhere. He's not going to fall out of the card because he's hooked on with his tail. So he'll just poke and move, and I've got a little bit of extra movement in my card. And I think that's really cute. So this is why we've got our foam tape so near to him. It allows him to move with the card. So when I hold him up, he will have a little point of movement, but he's not going to fall out. It's just a nice little way of playing, isn't it? And doesn't he look sweet? Just poking down from the bottom of that tree like a little mischief pants. Right, then I've got little sentiment. I've got the elephant, and he's holding onto a romper suit, so I've got the little pieces coming through. I've got baby, and I've cut away the balloon. I've got the stork, who's going to carry the baby, and I've got corners. The reason I'm using corners is because I'm using a very plain background, and I want to just kind of add a little visual touch. And then I've got lots of my little baby pieces as well. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to get some wet glue, and wet glue, everyday glue, and your applicators are really, really useful when you're working with these corners. I'll tell thee. So, oh, I can use this one. Keep reusing your applicators, by the way, because you don't need to throw them every time you use them. Holding on to that second point. Little amounts of glue, not much. Say it with me at home. Glue is sticky. I'm just going to lay my corners in. And all of this is literally just a decorative visual focus point because it's going to draw your attention to the center. Placing some of these on here. Gorgeous, right? That beautiful white background. Corners are lovely because we have choices with corners. You can work diagonally with them. You can put them on all four corners, which I'm going to do, or you can just do it at the top or the bottom, and that will actually give it a different visual cue as well. That's a roof. If I put them at the bottom, I ground it. If I do all four, I focus it. So another lovely way with composition of how we play corners, just give us different variants for visuals. So, you know, if I just leave it like that, it's almost focusing your attention more to the top of the card, isn't it? It draws it to the top of that tree. If I did them from the bottom, it would draw it upwards towards the center of the tree. If I did it diagonally, you'd focus into the center point. And if we do it at all four, we literally just frame it out. That's what we're literally doing. So taking these and holding a tiny piece so that I can get glue pretty much on the other pieces. And then taking it through, placing down. See? Now we're seeing the framing out, right? Because you start to see it come together. The other reason I love corners, I've got to tell you, if I'm ever struggling with a card and I can't quite get what I want to do, if I work with corners, I instantly get rid of my blank canvas, and it really, really helps me personally. I'm not saying for everybody, but it really, really helps me focus inwards on the card, as in where do I want everything to be? Up. And it's a really nice way of giving you something, some way to play with. Probably could have done to be a little down, but it's going to have an elephant on it, so I won't worry about it too much. But can you see how working with corners gives you a central, almost like a circle, isn't it? Which allows us to work within, and that's a nice place to be. Now from this I've got elements, and they're quite big, so now I've got to work out how am I working, what am I doing, and where am I going with it, because the pieces that I'm using are not small pieces. So what I'm going to do is place my elephant just off the card. He's going to take our attention over here. Okay, what I could do is place him on top of the tree, so he's sort of feathering, but he interferes with my corner a little bit. Alternatively, I can take him back right to the edge there, so he looks like he's walking off, and he fills up that white space at the bottom. Do I love it? No, not really. I like having a visual different point, so it just coming off the edge here is cute to me. He's stealing it and he's running away. And I like that. I like the playfulness of it. It gives it movement. So I'm just going to have him hanging over. So I've got my 5mm, so he's the same height as the tree. And I don't want it fully over. I don't want it mad, you know, this mad pacing, but I do want him to be a little bit over just to give it that value of movement. Okay, and that will sit and give shadow behind when it's against a wall, so you're getting that extra in there as well. So he's all set. He's quite happy where he is. Now I need the stalk, and I need the baby, and I need to bring them together, but I've got a sentiment. Now it's up to me whether I choose to use the sentiment. I absolutely don't have to. I could put it down here, but then it seems a shame that he's hiding the monkey. Depends whether you want the monkey to be like a hidden extra, but to me, I'm now really bothering my balance. Can you see? Because although the monkey is down sort of at this side, this quadrant, he's not as big as the elephant. He's not visually taking up the same room, so I'm messing with my focus a little bit. My alternative is that I can put it at the bottom of the tree, which I quite like, and that's probably where it'll go. I could place it higher, so if I move these two up just to here, I could move this further up. That's going to allow a little bit more exposition of the monkey there. So you play and you can choose what to do. But I love it, right? I think it's really sweet. Now my alternative is that I get rid of the baby and the stalk from the tree altogether. I can put the baby maybe on the tree and put the stalk coming off. So the stalk is doing. Now what happens is I get my diagonal balance perfectly with my elephant. Can you see the difference? I stop weighing the tree and I start to get the diagonal shift, and that's going to help visually with my composition. Now, in order to achieve that perfectly, what I would really need to do is put the stock a little bit higher up, just a tad, and that'll give me a bit more of a balance. Because his trunk's coming off here, I'm quite happy to have his little lallies coming off the end as well. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to place the stalk before I place the baby, but I'm going to need to raise the stalk's beak to get the baby underneath it. So if I focus on my elephant and I work out my point here, and I work out my height with the stalk, I know roughly that I want his wing line to be pretty much in line with where that corner point is, a little bit further off. Okay, so I'm going to take him to about there, lay him down, and now I've got my visual. I've used a 5mm, so I've got my shadow. I've created my diagonal. I've given my sentiment room to breathe, and I haven't overdone the tree. And now I'm just going to move the baby. The baby is going to be on the tree, and I'm just going to lift his stalk to there, to that point. Okay? Nothing difficult. Just balance, isn't it? It's just getting your visual balance and making sure you're not stealing from places that shouldn't be stolen from for your visual sighting. I'm going to cover up that hole and also probably part of his tail. This will secure the monkey even more. It means he won't fall off, but it means he can still move. So I'm going to place that there, right in that central point. Easy to find your center points because we've got points on the card, so you can see it lines in with that little line on the tree. And so now we're sitting with something really beautiful. So from this point on, all I'm going to do is bring in some extras. And I've got choices. And my choices are, I can use these as background pieces. I could put a star in, symbolise the nighttime. Do them at odd angles, you don't need to have it symmetrical. Really cute. Or I can put them in the tree and have a little baby tree full of loveliness and elements, you see. Really cute. Now what's really nice, I love the idea of using the stars outside of the tree and having these little pieces inside. And it makes sense to me then that the monkey is now stealing the romper suit. He's taking it off the tree and he's doing a runner. Maybe the monkey helped him. You see how we tell the story? So all the time we're creating a different narrative every time we're doing it. Tiny bits of wet glue. So I'm going to use these on the white on white, and then I'm going to put the other pieces onto that tree. So one piece here. There it is. Another piece here. I'm going to probably, where should I go? Higher or lower? I think probably about there. I quite like. I don't want it all to be too top heavy, and I want to place elements up here, so I'm just being a bit canny about where I'm putting things. My little shoes. This is so cute. They're like little moccasins, little baby shoes. Facing inwards so that it matches the corner. I don't want to fight with my corners. I want my corners to work for me, and if I place this in a different direction to my corner, I'm kind of fighting with it, so it just makes it sensible to me to keep it in line. Did I glue my socks? No. No. Now, I want to leave a little bit of room at the bottom of the tree on one side or the other, because I want it to look like the monkey has handed something, that it's come away from the tree. A little gap where that would have been, just to keep telling the tale. So my baby bottle, I'll put that right in the centre. Get the dummy and put the dummy. I think I'm going to put the dummy here so it looks like the monkeys helped the elephant. Just about there on that visual, maybe a little higher. And it's a really sweet, innocent little card, isn't it? Just some little visuals. Because we're using the muted tones, I can get away with putting those elements on the tree without stealing the colour from the tree. If I'd used the very bright little Sweet Lullaby pieces, they would have taken everything away. So if I was to use the bright, if I was to do this card and I was to use those really bright pops of colour, I would use a different colour matte and layer. So I would put a different colour in between. But because I'm working white on white, I can use the muted tones, because the bit that stands out probably the most is the baby on that, which is obviously what we're trying to achieve. And then the little monkey arm coming down. So really cute, really innocent little card. Very, very sweet. Clean lines, working on 8x8, which lots of us like to do. And it's got all of that lovely clean tone that we expect with baby cards. And also you've got a narrative, you've got a bit of fun. You've got your monkey who still sort of swings around and have got that movement. Little extra pieces, and that's just by popping his tail through that little hole in the tree. You get a whole different visual. If you want him to be set in a certain position, obviously just glue him, but it's just a different way with playing with, right? Because he's got that tail that'll hang on to things and it'll swing, so it gives us just a little bit more room for us to use our imaginations, which is really, really nice. The Dreamland Safari collection is on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. The number for it is 231001. You've got a code that you can use today, which is CCDS10. That's going to take it down from £89.99 down to £80.99. Free UK P&P. Your code again, CCDS10. You'll find this today at that price and that code. I don't know how long that code will run for, but the minute it stops being, you know, used or usable, it will go back to its original price. Miss Taz is saying 9, 10. I think she's very grumpy. She says she's not feeling very well. She's got a bit of a cold and she's all like harumphy. She's harumphy. You poorly, Miss Taz.
I'm fine.
Let's work with that card shape and look at some apertures. So I've cut the base of it twice, the largest die that is in the set. I've cut it twice so that I can create a card base, scored at 1/2 inch on one of them with red liner tape on, so that I can create my tent fold. If I can find my pokey tool, then I can do the things. Towards my body, shuffle, get it into place, push. Florals. 5mm. Look at the chunk on that. Isn't it beautiful? I love a good chunky foam tape. Put this down. Slip and slide till I've got, that's so cute, isn't it? Look at that on white on white. Isn't that glorious? That's really pretty. Right, and then I have got my aperture. Now, where I've got my aperture, I have got the 5mm on either side. If I'd have been a sensible human, I should probably have put some in here to support it too, but I'm not going to worry about it too much at the minute. What I'm going to do is create a strap on this card. So I'm going to put the strap across, here, and I'm just going to use one of them. I'm not using both, just one. All right, so I'm going to stick this down in a second, and then I'm going to stick this on top of it. However, what I want to do is work with this, and in order to do so, I need it to be hidden under the strap. Okay, so I need to work out in layers what I'm going to be doing and when I'm going to be doing it first. Inside of my aperture, I want to place some words using that gorgeous alphabet set. So I've got to be careful where I'm placing things, so I just take it step by step. The first thing I'm going to do is place my aperture down. Let me just make sure I haven't made an Australian card, and I was about to. So I'm just going to pull, slip and slide, get it into place. Take the cat hair away, and I think I am about right there. Push, pull. Now I'm working, as I say, in landscape. I can never get those two right in my head, but I want these down. So if I take this, I don't want to glue the whole thing. Oh, heck. So this is where I need my glasses because I'm working with fine lines. If I place this just on this line here, on the little curvature at the end, on both sides, just easing that through. I'm not worried about it sort of showing so much because I'm going to cover it with a strap. So, first things first, shadows. I really love shadows. And I'm going to take this. 1, 2, 3. I'm using this sort of fluffy cloud one. Strap to strap. Place and hide my workings. And what that will also do is strengthen and stabilise my little bunting piece as well. And come in, okay? Really cute, really, really sweet. Now what I want to do is use those letters, the alphabet, because I think it's really cute. But I want to do it a little bit lower down, so I'm going to place these up. Out there. It's easy to get these central because we've got these little notches, so it's easy to find your centre point on this card. It always helps. I'm playing Scrabble. I love Scrabble. Miss Taz hates Scrabble, but I love it so much. Joy. Really, really sweet. So what we're doing is just playing with the alphabet and allowing that to shine. Because it's got those shade lines on it, and I'm choosing to use it all in pink, but because it's got those shading lines on it, it's got the idea of it being 3D, which is just so valuable and so lovely. So I'm going to take these away. The first one that I'm going to place down is the O, and the reason I'm doing that first is because I can find my central point really easily. So if I place that first, I know I can get the kerning between my letters about right, as in the space between them. So if I place, I can focus it centrally there, okay, and then I can choose my placement for these at the side if I can get hold of it. One problem about not being able to grow nails is that I can't pick anything up. About there. I want a little bit of space. When you give letters room to breathe, they are visually far more valuable. But it's also then equally as important to try and get them equidistant if you can. It's not always achievable, but if you can try, it helps. So about there would look right to me. So you've got that equidistant, it's called kerning, that space between. Okay, so that looks about right to me. I'm happy with that. The balance is okay. From here, I'm then going to take my raffs. I love a raff. And I'm going to have them facing each other, and because I've got mirrored vignettes, I absolutely can do that. I just need to be careful which way I'm shaping them out, right? Because if I shape them both on the same side, it's going to look odd if one's bold in and one's bold out. So you just, again, plan in your stages. So I know to turn them that way, and then I know to use my ball tool. Not going to touch his neck. I'm just going to work on his haunches. That's all I want, is just the protrusion here. I may do a line down the center of his neck. I've got a little V point there that I can work alongside, and I've got his legs that I can work alongside, and his rump. So I've got all of those options. So I'll start on the outside, and I'll work both his rump and his tummy, so to speak. Then I'm going to work down on that V where I've got that cut line, and then I'm going to work his legs, just burnishing that through. Same again here. Lovely burnish marks. Then I can turn him. All I'm doing on his neck is I'm going to do a little line on the middle, but I don't want it to crease. So first of all, I'll just break the fibre. That's all I'm doing. I'm not shaping at that point. And then I'll just hold his little head, run a line down the centre of his neck, just burnishing that through so it gives me a curvature. Just working in. And he's all ready. And I'm going to do the same treatment on this one. So I've got the tummy, his bottom, that little line, his legs, and then turning him, break those fibres, and then I'll work by burnishing through so that I've got that curvature on him. Now obviously, I say this all the time, you wouldn't have that. That would be a very bendy giraffe. So we're going to take the lines that are the most useful to us. There's a cut line here where I've got my thumb and forefinger. There's a cut line just there. I'm going to utilise that by raising his neck to that point, using my thumb just to pin it, okay? And then he will sit. Now I can shape him out slightly just so he's not quite so bendy. But as soon as I stick him, I'm going to get that straight edge anyway, right? So that's fine. So I'm going to have these looking off into the clouds. Bit of pin flare so that I don't lose the shaping in the work that I've just put in. Not on his neck. I don't want it on his neck. I am going to put a little bit on his nose once he's fixed in place of wet glue just to secure him. He can sit there just slightly with his hip off, and then once I've got him where I want him, raise his neck, little snodge there, and now I get that beautiful curving out, that gorgeous shaping that we're looking for. Same again, just on his tummy, take him to the outside edge so he's just, that curve is just sitting off. Make sure I'm equidistant and equal. Push, lift, snodge. Okay, so now I've got a really nice baseline for my card, and I've in essence done very little towards it, but it's already starting to take shape, and that's really, really key. What I want to do is work in some colour at the bottom. So I'm just going to place some leaves behind his legs. Out. Just little bits. One of those may go over the edge, but that's fine. Don't want to cover up my wording too much. But I don't mind the fact that it peaks either. I'm quite happy with that. Same on the other. There we go. A little bit on that one and on that one, the bottom, a little bit on that one as well, not too much. Through his legs, down to that bottom corner, edging out, about equal, there and there. So now I've got that framed, and that's really cute. And then I'm going to work in with some florals. So, got my pinks. I love these so much. See how this has got, I said before, it's got the little green spike on the bottom of it, the stem, and I've torn it off on that one. They just nip off. You can just nip it and it comes off. Don't need to snip so much. So from there, I'm just going to build now some dimension, a little bit of height. I'm not worried too much about all the shaping and the business because it's going to get fairly hidden. But I am going to angle them because I want some colour from these. What I don't want to do is just plant flowers on top of them and lose that, otherwise it's pointless me using it, right? So that one there, and then this one here. So I just don't want to lose the colour. Take this ball tool out. Make sure I'm getting those the same way. Should we cup up or in, Miss Taz? You want them to be face down, as in the curvature down? So that one, and let's do that one. Okay, let's go. Let's go, go, go. I've got cut lines all the way through this. It's going to make it easier for me to burnish them out. It's not so hard to do because the paper's already cut, the weave is broken. So I can work from the edge and work my spiral through, and I'm just sort of giving it a wiggle and a jiggle as I'm going. Then I'm going to take the smaller ball tool. Okay, and that gives me an extra pop in the centre. Around the edge. Hey up. Like so. Extra in the centre. That just gives it a little bit of more doming. Around the edge, this is where I've pipped off. Obviously it doesn't get seen. In the centre and in the centre. If ever I'm doing florals, I get asked a couple of times, or I've been asked a couple of times about this, so I'll just explain my workings. When I'm working with florals, when I say cupping up or cupping down, what I mean is obviously are the petals going to come upwards or are they going to be down like they are here? If I'm sending it in the post, I'm always going to do them downwards. I don't want them interfering with an envelope or getting crushed in the post, so I'll always do it that way. If I am handing the card to somebody, I will do them the other way, so it depends. I just want them protected in posting. So by doing it this way, they're not likely to get knocked off. Whereas if I do it the other way, they can catch. So I hope that explains my reasoning behind that. So that's the last shaping out that I'll do on this particular card. So I don't need my ball tools anymore. So I'm going to take pin flare. So I've got my pink, my yellow, and my pink again, just to give it that transition of tone. Okay, pink, yellow, pink. So same again to the side. This one in here. So now I've got all my framework absolutely built. Everything's in place, so all I need to do now is focus here and on my shadow play, and I can do easy work on this. So I've got my two romper suits. First of all, I need to put some glue, but I need to really have the glue on here. Now I know that the romper suit can work on one or can go over two, depending on how you put it. I want mine to sort of maybe start there. So the first thing I'll do is put a dot of glue on my third one in. So that means I can counter it on my third one in on this side. And then I'm just going to place that there, little push down. If I place it on the dot rather than on the romper, it means none of it gets stuck. It's still got movement and shadow play, okay? If I place it on the romper and push down, what's going to happen is the romper's going to stick to the card and you won't get the same playful kind of movement in it. Third one in, on the dot. My other romper, then I can push that and then I can pull this once I've got my sticking point. Keep it shaped. Socks and shoes. So if I can't fit them both on, I won't use both of them. If I can, I will. So they would both fit nicely there. So I'm going to put the dot of glue on the shoes on this one, probably on the socks on this one. And then I can seat them over. Don't really want to interfere with the romper suit too much, but about there's fine. And then I can do the same with my little socks. Look at the baby things. And I can pop those there. Now that's going across two, so I could have used 2 dots of glue, but you don't need to. That actually probably could do to be a bit further across, if I'm totally honest. So I might change my glue point and just put it onto this one instead. Just so I can slightly adjust its distance between the romper and the shoes. And that's going to give me a nicer visual touch, just as the aesthetic goes. And the last thing I'm going to do, take my clouds, pin flare actually, let's pin flare. Let's give them a bit of dimension. Cover up my workings completely, edge out my little oval, on both sides. So it's clean, you clean up your lines, clean up your workings. Super, super sweet. Really cute, right? Movement, shape, joyfulness, real pleasure. It's a real pleasure to work with this whole collection. Dreamland Safari is gorgeous. There's no getting around it. It is a beautiful, beautiful collection. It's on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. The number for it is 231001. Usual price is going to be $89.99, but for you today, you're going to get it at $80.99 because you've got a code to use at checkout, which is CCDS10. CCDS10, all in uppercase, and that gives you 10% off the full value of the bundle. You're also going to be able to put in your perfect papers, which are beautiful. They're going to cost you a price of $14.99, and you'll find those on the number 231009. They're absolutely stunning. Don't forget to put in your family tree as well, the family tree card shape. It's beautiful, and that's 231007. Show price of $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P, and then of course there's the gorgeous alphabet that we were just working with, 231. The words is a lot of words. 008, and that is $34.99, $2.95 UK P&P. I think that's all of the things. I think that is all of the memory things that I've got to remember. Now, we have got more shows coming up. So just to let you know, don't forget, always use the calendar on the Carnation website as well. We have got on the 13th here, Harvest Echoes, which has only been seen on Hobby Maker, and it's beautiful. That's at 10 o'clock. That's actually this Friday. Oh, Friday the 13th, Miss Taz.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Did you not? Wait for all the things to go wrong. Let's see how many bandages and pots my body's in at that point. CCTV, so here again on the 16th at 11 o'clock. Oh, and it is so pretty. Rustic Delight. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. Get your Sheer Delight collection going and get it ready. Rustic Delight is beautiful. And then I'm on Hobby Maker on the 18th, which is the week after next, I think. And I'm on at 2 and 6 with the Joyful Journey USB. We've got a brand new USB coming your way in the week after next. So there's loads of stuff for you to get involved in, loads of stuff for you to see, to come and do demos, to come and chat, because it's always lovely to have your company. And other than that, I will see you very, very soon. I hope you have a really, really lovely week and a gorgeous, gorgeous weekend. Lots of relaxing and taking care of yourselves. And I will see you on Friday morning, promptly at 10 o'clock in the morning for Harvest Echoes. Until then, take care.